This week's tip of the week is 5 daily tasks for membership website owners. David, you've done a great job putting together this checklist, essentially, of really, I think, actionable and easy things that everyone who owns a membership website should and could be doing on a daily basis to help tick the needle on traction and visibility and engagement for membership, online membership community. So if it's okay with you, David, I'd like to pass it over and you can kind of take us through these 5 daily tasks.
Yeah, definitely. So this is a relatively common question that we get asked. Is there's a lot of moving parts for most membership websites. And so website owners, they tend to ask us, what are the things that I should be focusing on daily or weekly with all these different moving parts? What are the most important aspects? That can be kind of difficult to answer when membership and directory sites can be so diverse. So instead, this daily or weekly checklist will kind of focus more on the generic daily tasks that you can be doing that will help to cultivate member engagement, participation, and help keep you top of mind with your existing members, and then also stay relevant with your prospective members, people who are just now finding your site and who you'll want to bring into your community. Here are the 5 that we'll be going over in this short little presentation. They are relatively simple, and so these are some of those more minor, you might think of them as mundane daily tasks that at first glance might not seem like they'll really pay off all that much. But if you do them consistently, they will compound and they can end up making quite a big difference in not necessarily just the website growth, the community growth as a whole, but also how much value your members are getting out of your community and your membership website. And so that can increase your members' lifetime value. So the 5 that we'll be going over are to respond to member inquiries, document their feedback and any observations that you might see on your website or elsewhere within your community. Find relevant things to post on your social platforms that can engage your members. Start discussions and also reply to existing discussions within your community. And then also to mainly stay top of mind. So we'll dive into these, responding to member inquiries. So the thing here is customer support is by and large the most important aspect of any business. And when you're managing a membership site, it's important to think about it as a business. I know it's a lot different than maybe a business you might be thinking of, like a brick and mortar store or a retail site, but a membership website is still a business. And so we have to take into account the customer support aspect of that. And that single aspect can really make or break your business. So we want to strive to provide the absolute best customer support that we possibly can. We've talked about this a lot in many of our previous webinars. Positive member experience will be one of the most important aspects that you can deliver to your members. And then also people who are just inquiring about your website who aren't yet members. Giving them attention from the onset might help push them across that finish line into becoming a member eventually. And so even though customer support does require some sort of time investment on your part, or if you have any team members or coworkers or anything like that, it will require a little bit of time investment, but it typically won't require that much effort. Customer support is typically a relatively easy task to take on, especially if you don't really overthink it. The main thing is just to provide the best experience that you possibly can for your member. If you need to give them something for free, maybe a month's worth of membership for free if they had a bad experience or something like that, just make it easy for them to contact you, easy for them to express any concerns that they have, and then take care of them the best you can, and that will really go a long way.
And some ways to encourage people to submit inquiries in the first place is making it easy for them to contact you. So a few ways that we've talked about in previous webinars. You may or may not want to have a phone number on your site, but if you can support incoming phone calls from members or prospective members to answer questions, that's one way. The simple contact us form that comes with every BD website, making that link available for people to access. And maybe you don't want to just call it the standard contact us. Maybe you say have questions about becoming a member, contact us here. Something a little bit more proactive than the default contact us. Another thing is having a live chat on your website. Now that one's a bit sometimes a bit more difficult, especially for smaller teams, because you're not online 24/7 to respond to those live chat messages. But the good thing is a lot of these live chat solutions, they do allow people to leave you a message when you're not manning the live chat station. So it is another, just like your contact us form, it is a great way to have incoming inquiries from members or prospective members having that live chat tool. And then also we'll talk about maintaining like a strong social media presence, but making people know that you are manning your, your Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever you're using for social media, and letting them know that they can reach out to you through those channels. You can send messages on Facebook, for example, through a couple different channels that they offer. So make it easy for your members to contact you. And the most important thing is, especially for prospective members who might have questions, if you're not getting inquiries from prospective members, you might need to revisit your talking points on your website. Maybe you're not piquing enough interest from prospective members, and you want to recalibrate the benefits and what people can expect from your community and the way you're presenting that on your website, because your website really should work to pique interest of prospective members. And of course, prospective members will definitely have a question or two. So that's something to consider. If you're not getting inquiries, you might want to revisit your About Us page, your mission page, and your benefits pages, because you definitely want to be piquing some interest, and people who are interested may have a question or two.
The second task, and again, as we're going through all these 5 daily tasks, depending on your site and your community, you may not need to do these every day, maybe once a week. So that would be something to just keep in the back of your mind as we're going through all these tasks. You don't need to do them necessarily every day. So number 2, documenting feedback and observations. Another element that we've discussed a lot in previous webinars is that these membership websites, regardless of the niche or the target demo that you're serving, the purpose of them is to act as a solution for whatever problem your members are seeking an answer to. The thing we want to do with this daily task is not just to focus on any negative feedback or suggestions that we're getting from members, but also focus on the positive feedback and the good things that we're doing with the website. We want to shed an equal light on all the feedback that we're getting. And so when we can keep track of the member inquiries that we're getting, whether they're questions, just general feedback, whatever it may be, if we're also keeping an ear to what's going on outside of our website, maybe if you have a Facebook group or if there's a forum somewhere online in the same industry, we're able to focus on all of that and maybe take notes throughout the week as you're seeing different topics pop up. We can revisit that maybe at the end of the week and see if there's any new topics that are popping up that we might want to focus on in the following week. Maybe we want to write an article about a specific topic that a lot of people seem to be talking about for whatever reason in the past few days. We might want to focus on that and try to capitalize on it. But the big thing here is we want to pinpoint the specific wants and needs of our members and the community as a whole if we want to bring in new members and deliver to them based on the observation feedback that we're making and that we're getting. So try to just be aware of what's happening in your community and try to capitalize on those different observations that you might be making.
Yeah, I think when you say community also, that expands to the industry you're serving as a whole. So you want to see trends in the industry, the direction the industry is going in, some turmoil that might be in the industry that you could provide some tips on how to get through those difficult times. And every market is different, but again, as David mentioned, you want to pinpoint specific pain points or wants that your community can get some relief from, and something that you can provide, even if it's a simple 5 tips blog article or a survey you can launch in a Facebook group or something, just to get some engagement and figure out what next steps you can do to better serve your community based on those observations.
That's exactly right. Doing this will also give us a good idea of what to focus our upcoming content on. And then also we want to focus on the specific language that our members in the community as a whole are using. If we can observe a specific language or like the adjectives, the nouns that they're using, we can then use the same language in our marketing content, on our pricing page, checkout pages, in our testimonials that we're putting throughout the website so that we can better connect with those prospective members. Going on to daily task number 3, find something relevant to share. This is kind of staying top of mind in check and aware that you're still out there, you're still relevant. So this could really be anything. You don't necessarily need to be publishing new content every single day. That's a big task to take on, especially if you're kind of a one-person team. So you can find inspirational or related memes online, or if you're just browsing the internet, you might find something that you think your community will like, that you think they'll connect with. You can always share that on your social platforms. If you see any videos or podcasts, maybe there was some news in your target industry over the past week, and somebody else came out with an interview with an influential person in the industry, or they did a podcast covering a certain topic. That would be a great piece of content to share with your community. Even if it's not something you published, you can either link directly to that piece of content, or if it's a video or a podcast or something like that, you could always embed it in a post on your website and then link people to that. So at least that way you're still sending people to your site while using somebody else's content. That would be one option. Blog articles, company news, infographics, or infographics, videos, memes. These forms of content other than text are very easy to be consumed, and they're easy to be consumed quickly. And so those tend to grab people's attention a little bit more than just a blog article. So if you can find those sorts of media to publish and share with your community, those might end up working a little bit better at grabbing their attention and connecting with them than just sharing article after article. Number 4, start and reply to community discussions. So this will typically take place probably off of your website, maybe in a Facebook group that you set up, or maybe a subreddit, although that is more public than a Facebook group, which you can make private and you can really moderate and keep a tight hold over. You can also create a community on Slack or Discord or any of those other kind of applications where you kind of create a private channel. It's more like a chat room. But there's a lot of places where you can form a better community connection off of your website. At the end of the day, you're the leader of your community, and so it comes down to you to take the lead when it comes to participation, whether that's starting conversations, or if somebody posts something in, say, for example, your Facebook group, or if you have a forum somewhere else, and you're not seeing any replies on it, you might want to jump in there. Even if you don't have necessarily anything beneficial to offer, you might want to at least encourage others to post in there, to at least bring it to their attention if maybe they missed it. And this also gives you the opportunity to interact in real time with your members, which does a lot better job at establishing that really important personal connection, which again, we've discussed in previous webinars. It does a lot better job at doing that rather than kind of sharing content with people on your normal social channels and then maybe replying to a few comments here and there, a few hours later. Having that live interaction really makes a big difference. And having these off-site communities for your members to express whether it's concerns, get help, connect with their peers on more of a personal level. These are really things which will help form a stronger community rather than just having a bunch of individual members registered on your site and consuming content. Having them actually connect with one another will really go a long way.
And not only that, so when David says it'll create like a stronger community, some effects that'll have on member retention is you probably have fewer cancellations or reduced cancellations because there is an avenue for people to another avenue for people to reach out when they have concerns. Probably that community is far more helpful than just having a profile on a website because it's an added benefit of their membership being part of that community. And then also prospective members who are not yet active members, they see that they want to be part of that community. Their peers are there. It's a community for them. So it's something for them, prospective members, to look forward to and getting access to once they join your membership. So I know a lot of people have free Facebook groups where prospective members and members can mingle together, but then they also have a separate section like a Slack group or another Facebook group for the premium members who are actually paid subscribers to a community. So kind of the free group is almost like an advertisement for the membership community, and it still allows non-members to get involved and get a taste of the vibe of the community, and then obviously encourages them to join the real community for the real access that paid subscribers receive. So these communities really can help increase member subscribers and also reduce potential cancellations and have better member retention.
All right, and the last daily task, staying top of mind. So you can think of this just overall as a simpler version of task number 3, find something relevant to post. Staying top of mind is really kind of boiling that down. You don't necessarily need to have a specific piece of content that you're going to be sharing with your community on social media. This is just something super simple just to make people aware that you're still out there, even if you haven't shared a piece of content in the last few days. This consistent low-level activity is really what's going to help kind of keep you afloat if maybe you're going on vacation, you don't have a lot of time to dedicate to finding or publishing new content to share. This could be a good way to kind of keep you afloat during those times. But some good ways to do this are just to share normal kind of everyday organic activity. So if your target industry is prevalent on Instagram or Facebook, those two platforms have a story feature. It's kind of a temporary post. You can share something on that. You can share just a normal positive message that you've gotten from one of your members, or if they've left a testimonial, or if you've seen that they've said something great about your community somewhere else online. You can take a screenshot of that and share it with your community. If you know that one of your members had some sort of achievement, if you have a community of students and one of them got into a good school or got a scholarship or something like that, you can congratulate them just to shine light on some of those members. Spotlighting active members in your community. This is a tip that we touched on in a lot of our earlier webinars. If you notice that you have a specific member or a handful of members that are either just participating a lot within your community, if you have a business directory or receiving a lot of leads or responding to a lot of leads, you might want to shine a spotlight on them. That will get your other members' attention, and they might want to know what they could be doing differently to get that same sort of attention. So just these simple, smaller things just to stay relevant, not only for people who are already members, but people who are still in that awareness stage, which we talked about in last week's webinar, in that sales funnel, people who aren't yet members. A lot of times they like to see that there is a person, a personality, a face behind the website itself. That's not just some sort of faceless website that's kind of just managing itself. They like to see that there is a person behind the wheel kind of steering the ship, if you will.
And also these tips for daily or weekly tasks that we should all be doing. You have your main marketing strategy. You have your lead magnets. You want your driving ads to maybe like an ebook or a webinar you want people to join, or a podcast you want people to listen to. Those are active marketing campaigns that you have for targeting specific people to specific assets that you have, again, such as an ebook. These daily tasks are really to maintain a quality pulse of your company's voice and brand for people who may just be discovering you or may discovered you a long time ago but haven't pulled the trigger yet. So this is really like, if your main marketing campaign are the waves at the top of the ocean, this is what's happening just one level below that, and it's a constant stream of marketing that's going on underneath your main marketing campaigns. And what's really cool is, this stuff is really easy to do to stay, top of mind and relevant, and to maintain a pulse of your brand with some type of a voice. So just keep in mind that you don't want to overwhelm yourself. And if you're just starting out, it's understandable. You don't have a big community. You're not going to get dozens and dozens of likes when you make a post. But if you stick with this and you see small traction, you have to give these things months, not days and not weeks. You have to stick with it for months at a time. Hopefully you'll see really quick growth. But even if it's slow growth and you're consistent with it, and there is a viable market size of people for the industry you're looking to target, your group of followers and subscribers will grow over time. And these daily tasks are just going to support your bigger efforts that you have, and also tick the needle for the number of signups you receive, the number of referrals, people refer their friends to you, and also retention. It'll tick the needle in a positive direction for all those things, just following these daily tasks. And the most important thing here is just staying top of mind and maintaining a pulse for your brand. Because if you're not doing these things, you're making it a lot harder for people to discover you, to stay in touch with you, and to stay top of mind for those people.
I think you touched on an important point, which is, I think, a good one to kind of wrap up this presentation, put a nice bow on it. And that's when you're doing all these seemingly simple, basic daily tasks, you're creating a pulse for your website. And what that does is it makes it easier for you to maintain momentum. It's a lot harder to start driving momentum, but it's a lot easier to maintain it. So this will make it a lot easier for when you do go through maybe any lulls or anything like that. It'll make it easier to at least maintain the momentum and keep moving forward rather than trying to kind of go through a bunch of ebbs and flows.
Well, thank you, David, very much for putting together this presentation. If anything, it's a good reminder of some things to do to keep us busy while we're working on our community. So thank you for that.